You know that feeling when you open your inbox and find another Google review from a happy client? Well, we feel the same way when our listeners leave a review on Apple Podcasts for our show.
It's honestly so helpful because reviews give you the words straight from your client's mouth that impacts the way you run your business going forward. And the same is true for us.
Yeah, when we read your reviews, it helps us understand what you love and what you want more of, which makes the show better in return. And really, everyone wins here.
So before you listen to today's episode, could you take 1 minute and leave us a 5-star review and tell us one thing you're loving about the show? We promise we'll be here ready to chat when you're done.
And after leaving that review, make sure you screenshot it and send it to support@modernagentsocialclub.com with your mailing address because we have a fun little surprise for you as a way to say thank you.
XOXO, the marketing girls.
I ended up getting glasses, and it's so funny wearing them because I'm like, oh, words aren't cloudy.
And it's fine to watch Love Island while you do tedious computer work.
Finally, I just bought the dang thing. It was like $40. I am convinced it actually does nothing at all.
I knew I would not be door knocking. I almost committed to doing it once. And I was like, no, absolutely not.
How do I get more leads?
How do I stand out in my market?
Is it unprofessional to talk about my kids on Instagram?
Should I have one account or two?
Do I really need a personal brand as a real estate agent?
We are the Modern Agent Marketing Girls. We are 2 agents turned marketing experts who believe you can become the go-to real estate girl in your market all because you are you. I'm Chelsea Peterson, founder and CEO of Modern Agent Social Club.
And I'm Kayla Fox, Modern Agent's content creator. Let us be your guide as we talk about what it means to market your real estate business the modern way.
So refill your favorite beverage, open your notes app, and get ready to build a business and a brand you're obsessed with. Let's go. Hey, Kayla, I like your glasses.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Marketing Girls podcast. Thank you. And I just turned 38 years old, and I went to the eye doctor for the very first time in my whole life.
Oh my gosh.
So I know, here's the deal. I actually have really good vision, but I have noticed the last couple of years that a lot of words or things on screens, especially, but even at night, a lot of things just have almost like a cloud behind them, or little almost looks like stars or whatever. So things get just a little bit fuzzy. But I have 4 kids. I've got a kid in braces. I got a kid in glasses. They're all the same kid. There's always something to spend your money on. And I always felt like I can technically see, it's fine, right? But finally, this year, my husband was like, dude, just go to the eye doctor. The worst they're going to tell you is that you're fine. But if you need something, just get something. And so I went, and they kind of said the same thing. They're like, your vision's actually not that bad, but you have stigmatisms in your eyes. And so it's causing all of this. So I ended up getting glasses, and it's so funny wearing them because I'm like, oh, words aren't cloudy. That is so weird. Even though I could read the very fine print, there was always something there, right? So I have been just laughing in the last week or so because I've been like, wow, you don't know what you don't know. You can't see something until you're able to actually see it. And then it's I get what is that phrase? The forest through the trees, right? At some point, the only way that you're going to see something is when you actually put it on and see things differently. And so it's been kind of funny. So I, sporting some new glasses. I'm a little shiny today, but yeah.
Well, I actually love the color. So I went on Warby Parker and I ordered sample glasses. I'm like, I want pink glasses, which I don't know if I'll even like on me. They have a thing you can try them on, on the website on your face, but it looks super weird. So we'll see. I don't really need new glasses. I just got some last year. So.
Well, and I was kind of laughing too because it's not I have to wear them all the time. It's mostly when I'm working on a screen or watching TV. I think the lady was kind of encouraging me well, these, your insurance covers all of these, or you only have to pay $20 for these or whatever. But they weren't cute, they weren't fun, and they weren't purple. And I was like, no, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to get the color that I want. I'm going to get the thing that I want. And that's kind of what we're talking about today. I would rather actually spend a little more upfront and actually get what I want the first time and have it be something that makes me feel good about myself and feel like myself than just to get something cheap and then be like, well, I wish I would have done this, but I guess I'll get a new pair in 2 years,
Yeah, and it makes you actually want to wear them. Now you want to wear the glasses because they're cute and you feel good. And this kind of brings us into the next, the segue, our never-ending segues. Have you ever thought to yourself, I will do this once I fill in the blank, once I make more money, once I have another closing, once I lose the weight, once I get in shape. And sometimes we can't, like, that the other side will never come if we keep waiting for this inevitable thing to not inevitable, for this thing to happen. That's you need to actually change something in order for that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that old example of like you can't wait to join the members or join the gym membership until you lose the weight, right? Like it's getting in there and getting in the gym and putting in the work. That's the thing that gets you into the body that you want, that you feel confident about. So we kind of in our minds we just get that backwards a little bit. And all of this is being said from two girls who have done this too. Like we are not like sitting on a pedestal talking down to anyone, because we have struggled with this as well, like personally and as a business and all of that too. Taking a chance, it's kind of like the whole going to the eye doctor thing, taking a chance and going and getting the glasses and thinking like, I'm sure I'm fine, but maybe I'll just, or I'll wait till my eyes get worse and then I'll get them. Why not just see clearly now, right? Like, why not like just invest in yourself now, get the thing now, whatever. So we're talking about investing in yourself in all sorts of ways today. And I'm excited for this topic because I feel like 10 years ago, I would have been like, well, I can't afford to. But this is not all just about money. This is about like all sorts of things.
So I have an example to kind of start today. So if you imagined your future self, and this is based on a reel that I saw and sent to Kayla. If you imagine your future self, you have your dream real estate business, you have the best clients, you feel so put together, your life is just elevated. Like it's this picture perfect thing of like, when I get there, then I'll do this thing or whatever. But now imagine that you are your future self's intern and she hired you to help her get there. Do you really think she wants you spinning your wheels, piecing things together, taking a year to figure out something that you could figure out faster if only you made the jump, if only you made the investment? Would she want you waiting and waiting and waiting for whatever thing that is there to take the next step, to take the action? Or do you think she wants you to do something today, to invest the time, invest the energy, invest maybe if it's financially related into that thing to get you there faster? Like that's such an interesting way to think about your future self. Like if you were her intern, what would she want you to do?
Yeah. Or even if you look at people that you admire, like maybe there are people in your life or on Instagram or whatever that have like this business that you're like, oh my gosh, that is what I want. Like, why can't I just have whatever? Instead of looking at them up here and thinking, how do I get up there? Ask yourself, what did they do when they were down here? Like, whatever they did when they were down here, that's what I need to be doing, right?
It's a whole example too. If you act like that person today, like what actions would that version of you require you to take every single day? You're not going to wait until you're successful to start sending emails, or you're not going to wait until you're successful to, I don't know, what other thing is there?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to make the presentations, to like make the reels, to do all those things, like to build a webinar you've been wanting to do or a quiz or whatever. Like do those things now. It's kind of like the whole like dress for the job you want, not for the job you have. Like you have to kind of start practicing and like acting like that person now. Act like the person who believes that you're capable of it, and then all of a sudden you're going to look back and be like, wow, I did it. Like I did the thing.
The health examples are so easy because we can all easily see why it would work. But if you want to be in shape, you can't wait till you're in shape to start working out and strength training. You have to do it now. You don't wait to start eating better until you lose the weight. You start eating better so that you lose the weight. So like what do you need to do in your business right now that's going to get you to be the version of yourself you are wanting to be, to get your business to the version of what you want your business to look like? That's the type of things you need to do now. That comes back, I mean, it could be so many different angles. Like it can be investing in yourself from how you show up every day. Like do you get up early? Do you like move your body every morning? Are you feeling good? Are you building yourself the energy it requires
Yeah.
to operate at that level of a business, that level of a person? What foods are you eating? How often are you getting outside? How often are you getting like vitamin D?
Right.
Or like I want to spend more time with my family. Like if you just sit and scroll on your phone and you're not spending time with your family, like what actually would equate to that? Maybe it's, I need to take Sundays off. I'm not taking any clients on a Sunday. I need to have one night a week that I always, or like Thursday night is soccer practice and I'm never missing it. So unfortunately, I'll have to make arrangements with a client if that is the only option. Or, like you set yourself into your standards and your boundaries that build the result of the person you want to become, of the life you want to live. And not everything is always going to be perfect.
No.
But if we're striving for the way that we need to operate, and that's like our default setting, it's going to be a lot harder to continuously like push that out of the way. Right. And it's interesting because I just read this the other day because I told you, Kayla, that this whole year has been like a health journey for me. And actually, I had like my gut inflammation went from 516 to 67, which is
I'm
insane.
assuming that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you want it under 50, but I'm like, that's a big jump. So whatever that means. I kept putting in the work, putting in the work, putting in the work. And now that we're like in August, I kind of have gotten like comfortable again with like going out to eat more. And, there's always all these plans in the summer and all these things to do. And I just said, like, I'm not feeling my best. I've been like pushing the workout out of the way. I've been pushing whatever out of the way. Somehow, like my business never takes, like, it's always my personal stuff that seems to take the
Yeah.
downfall, right? Like my business does take the priority in a lot of those circumstances. But if you think about it, is that really helping me?
Right.
Probably not. Because if I prioritize the workout at 6 a.m. instead of, creating a post or writing an email or working on my website, I would probably have more energy to do
Right.
more on my website. And this is not a health podcast. But the point is, in all of these capacities, in all of these categories, the core like connecting piece is that you're investing in yourself
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
human and a business owner.
Well, and I think we can start with that. So investing in your health, that's a non-negotiable for any business owner, any realtor. I coined this phrase. I think that I coined it because I have looked up other people saying this and I haven't found anyone, so correct me if I'm wrong. But like we always say, like modern agents are entrepreneurs, right? And so I came up with the phrase realtorpreneur. Like that is how we need to think of ourselves. So any realtorpreneur needs to be investing in their health. Does that mean you have to join a gym and take 50,000 supplements and go on 4 walks a day? No. But like in some capacity, we have to take our health seriously. So whether that is like for me, it's always like, okay, a morning walk, like that feels really good. Drink some water. And like, I try to have like 2 healthy meals a day. Like that's about as best as I can do. But you know what? That's a heck of a lot better than nothing. So I kind of start there. Now, over time, I could compound that and add some more things. But like, I think you have to kind of have your bare minimum standard like this every morning, every day, no matter whether I'm on vacation, whether I'm at home, whether I've got kids in school or not, or whatever. Like, this is my standard because we have to take care of ourselves. We expect our brains and our bodies to be able to perform all of these tasks, but then we're not fueling them with the right things. And like, then we sit there dumbfounded. Like, I don't know why I'm so tired at 3 o'clock, you know?
You know what's interesting is even like with something like your health, it can get so overwhelming. Like for a while, I got so deep into it that I felt almost so restrictive that I was like, why would I eat this if it's not organic? Or like, well, I heard that's bad, or I heard not to have this ingredient, and almost got like so compounded in my brain where I was like, I don't even know what to eat. I don't even know what to do. And it started feeling very stressful. And then I saw this post, it was from a dietitian, and she said something like, here are foods that I feed my kids that other people don't agree with. And she was like, and here's why. And ultimately, what it came down to was it's just balance. It's moderation, it's 80/20, whatever you want to call it. You're not always not everything's going to be perfectly perfect. I mean, it's 2025. It's not even possible anymore. The whole world is sprayed with glyphosate, whatever. But what it made me think of is with business, how overwhelmed we get with the amount of information out there where we get so paralyzed, we don't even know what to do. We're like, well, this person said I should post every day. This agent who seems successful posts 3 times a day. This one said I should join her boot camp. This one said I should join her coaching. This one said, like, everyone has the way, everyone has the answer, like, honestly, if you would just pick one and stick with it, it would probably work. But we're so stressed out and what's the word? Like you can't decide. You can't pick one that you stick with.
Analysis paralysis.
Yes, there's so many options, and like, that is 100% how business feels because of Instagram, because of social media, and as a business owner, you have to get really tough on yourself to, like, put up barriers to block out stuff like this, because if you're gonna hop around like shiny object squirrel every day, you're not gonna make the progress, you're gonna feel miserable, you're gonna feel overwhelmed, and what you're probably doing with that is trying to piece it all together yourself. You're trying to piece together all the things on your own that are keeping you stuck, keeping you in the same place, keeping you from getting to the next step, because there is a bunch of information. There's so much free information out there that it doesn't feel like you need to pay someone to tell you what to do anymore. You're like, well, I could ask ChatGPT. I could watch this person's reels all day long. I'll never
Yeah.
run out of content ideas. You won't. But do you have a direct plan that aligns with where you want to get, that's going to shut off the rest of the noise to some capacity? There's always going to be noise if you're opening your Instagram app or TikTok ever, right? But how do we get like focused and try to at least turn down the volume on some of that noise?
Yeah. I kind of have a story about that. A couple of years ago, I was like, we have got to spend less money on groceries. Like, feeding these guys, and I knew, like, these small kids were only going to get bigger, and we were only going to spend more and more and more, right? And I remember thinking, okay, I have a choice. I can either look up sales flyers, shop the sales, get the coupons, plan meals around that thing, and kind of make that like just a big priority in my life, that like, hey, I need to spend my time doing these things and I could save some money. But then I realized, or I could spend my money on foods that actually keep my kids full longer, that have a little bit more substance to it, that have more protein, whatever. Like, I literally, when I thought about this, I quit buying cereal altogether because it doesn't keep them full. Frankly, it gives them a stomachache when they're done. And then they say they go to school and then they're hungry like an hour later. Well, why not just make them like some scrambled eggs and like a banana or some yogurt, whatever, like feeding them more substantial, like protein filled foods is going to actually keep them full longer. So my grocery bill has actually decreased, and I've been buying healthier foods because I don't have to feed them as often. They're not going to the pantry every like 45 minutes. Like, or if they are hungry, then I say, hey, go get a cheese stick or go get whatever else. Like, obviously we still have junk food in our house, but as a whole, I just noticed a huge difference in that. And I thought, man, like, that is so much less time consuming just going to the grocery store and just knowing what foods to buy, instead of being like, well, I got to see what Meijer tells me I can feed my family this week. I don't know what they're going to have on sale this week. And like the mental strain that would have taken from me, like that would have just exhausted, like as if I don't have enough decisions to make every week, right? So investing in those things, like in your health, and really that kind of goes into the next one, which is like investing in just like your overall well-being. Like, yes, your mental health, but also like your relationships. Are you prioritizing fun? We talk about like, oh, add a little splash of like your personality or like something fun. I am convinced that it seems to be that there are some agents who are like, oh, I don't do anything fun. And I'm like, that doesn't mean you have to go to a concert or you have to like start a book club, but like you should be doing something fun. Like, call your sister and say, hey, do you want to go for a walk? Like, do something that just takes a little bit of time out of your day that you enjoy. Like, that not only gives you content, but that like makes you feel better as a person, and it fills your cup more so that you have more to give, right?
It also gives you things to talk with your clients about, like
Yeah.
building the rapport. It's not just about Instagram. I mean, when you meet with your clients in real life, like, you want to build rapport with them to create some connection, to give them advice, to guide them through, is this the right fit house? And knowing, like, I always think of hair people and how like they'll watch The Bachelor or like the reality shows, so they have like, so they can talk to the clients about like the hip things. I remember too, this one of our family friends, he was like, I don't really like football, but I feel like I have to watch it because commercial real estate. He's like, and all my clients watch football. So here I am watching football every Sunday. And not that you have to like fake it, but I think the point is you have to like insert yourself into situations. And sometimes we may be just overthinking it. Like last night, I was up till midnight loading content into our new website, and like, you would think that sounds awful, but I turned on Love Island season 6 because I've only watched like one season of it in my life. And I lit a candle and I was in my couch in a really cozy position. And I'm like also very excited about our new website. So I just kept going and kept going. And all of a sudden I'm like, it's midnight. I should go to bed. But it made it more fun. Like it made like a kind of tedious process a little bit more fun. And thinking through you having fun and investing in like your life, giving back to your community is part of that to me. And it's not that you have to go to every local event and like volunteer at them, but what if you simply just shared in your stories like where your family likes to go for a walk, or maybe it's a place that you love to get takeout from. Like as a real estate agent, no one is sitting in their house staring at the wall all day. So you have something, you just have to pull it out of you and make more of an effort in that category. I mean, it could be for someone, it could be taking a bath. I mean, it could be like a relaxing thing. It could be listening to a meditation. It could be doing a Peloton workout. I mean, it doesn't have to be a social gathering
Right.
necessarily, right?
Right. And it doesn't have to cost money. Like, I look at like, even like we enjoy the library, and our library, I will say, it's like, it's way better than most libraries. Like, we're pretty lucky. But one thing that we do is we will go to the library and, of course, get some free books or whatever. And then there's like games and stuff there. But also, a lot of times I'll either like bring food or like I'll stop at McDonald's. But we'll have like a picnic in their like yard. They have like this whole like grassy area with like trees and like butterflies and like cattails and all sorts of things. It's just like fun to like stop and spend time there.
A prairie.
Yeah. And I think, okay, like we could like make mac and cheese quick at home and everybody eat, and then we got to go do something. Or we could all pause and like take that same food and let's go eat it outside and let's like have a little bit more. And like, again, I mean, this kind of goes back to the whole like romanticizing things, but like taking the time to, first of all, that's like investing again in my children. Like, they're kind of getting more of my undivided attention. It's something more memorable. It's something out of the norm. So they're going to remember it more. Like, remember when we ate this and we had, whatever, we saw the butterfly here or whatever. And like, yeah, I'll document it. I'll take a couple pictures, then I put my phone away, and then I have something to share later. And it just makes like conversations flow a little bit easier. If I was still doing real estate full time, I could tell people like, oh, not only can you take your kids to the best library ever, but you can also have a picnic in there. Like those kind of things are just like, that just makes you a more interesting human, and it like fills your cup. It makes you feel like you did more than just like work all day and you feel burnt out and you're tired of the market and you're mad at your sellers and all of that. Like, it adds a little bit of fun and like joy to your day.
It's really it's the little things that build that bigger picture too. I bought this table from Crate and Barrel that I have been looking at since we got married, because I like had it on my registry and I was like, no, it's like not a registry thing. It's like a little lower to the ground picnic table and it's $50. And I always wanted it and I was like, no, I don't need it. Why would I? Well, I'm never going to use that. Mark's like, you hate bugs. Why would you want to eat outside in the grass? But I finally bought it. And last night I said, like, let's set it up in the living room and watch a movie while we eat dinner on the little table. And it just made it fun. And again, I know this seems like maybe kind of fluffy or like, but ultimately what we're talking about is investing in the things that make an impact in your life. And a lot of times it is very small things. And when you mentioned the comment about like, you'll try to document or whatever, if you don't always document it, who cares? But if you can be mindful to try and do it, here's one tip with that. Like, don't do it all at the same moment. Like, enjoy the meal, enjoy the hot coffee while it's still hot, document, take the picture and post it later. Like, we don't need to like always be on our phones, it can just be, we quick get the picture and I'm guilty of like, well, I'll take the picture 10 different ways. And like, that's a whole nother thing. But like, I want to like how that one looked. Just like, done is better than perfect in that scenario. 100%.
Yeah. And again, sitting here talking about this, agents could be thinking like, girls, I need to sell more real estate. I need more clients, all of that. But like, if you know that leading with a personal brand is the thing that is going to make you more memorable, that's going to get people talking more about you, going to get people to say, oh, you need to follow her, because then these things do matter. And again, if we put the personal brand thing aside, you still need to do this just to like function. Like, no one can be completely overworked. No one can like work 24/7 or whatever. Like, Chelsea, you and I talked about, like, we have worked so much this year. Like, getting ready for the website. We have launched so many different things within the membership. We've changed a few things, doing the podcast. Like, there have been weeks where I'm like, whew, I've worked a lot. And I would feel bad by saying, you know what? I'm going to take Friday morning and I'm just going to hang out with my family. But guess what? After doing that, then when I go back to work, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't think of it this way. Maybe I could do this. Maybe I could do that. Like, it actually not only improved my work output, but then it also improved my family and improved my, like, all the things, which kind of leads into investing in your relationships, which you kind of touched on. But like, you know, you talk about like real estate is relationships. Like, if you want to market in a way that's not just paying for leads, then you have to invest in a relationship. So yes, this includes like your spouse or your boyfriend, whatever, but also, obviously your kids, your parents, your siblings, your neighbors, your friends. Like, if you have to take the time to invest in those relationships, those don't just come like because, oh, we were friends all our lives and now we're friends forever. Like, you still have to take time, even if it's a simple like text check-in or like a group chat. Grabbing, like, how many times have we said like, hey, invite your friends to lunch or coffee, and like you can use that to document it for your stories, but also like now you just can talk with a friend for a little bit, like talk about like improving your like overall well-being, right?
This reminds me, the other night, I'm up next to host both of my book clubs, which is not ideal. And I have this massive website launching. Like, it all happens at once, right? But what do they say? Like, if you need something done, give it to a busy person. So,
Yep.
like, this is actually all working out, minus my stress levels. But anyways, I was like, okay, I'm sitting down. I just had a show on, like Henry was sleeping, and I'm like, I need to text book club to get the date out there, one of the book clubs, thinking like, okay, I'm going to throw this date out. Hopefully it's far enough out it just works. Well, of course, right away someone can't make it. And 2 hours later, we land on a time, and I'm like, I feel like I was just doing like admin work for the last 2 hours. And now that I know it's in November, I need to switch my book because that's like Thanksgiving, not Halloween. I'm like, oh my gosh. So then, I mean, I also have like it's like girls' nights. We do like a movie night thing with like another group of girls. I'm like, I'm investing in these relationships. I'm like, well, I'm up next to host that too. So I better send that text message. So I send that and I text my friend on the side and I was like, I seriously feel like, or I said like next club check, or like I'm like an administrative assistant for clubs
Right.
tonight. Like, it was just like so much. But at the end of the day, I'm spending time with my friends and I'm taking a night off of the stressful, busy work. Not that hosting isn't easy, but I have some hacks, food wise. And like, it's just, how are you making time for what's the most important in your life?
Yeah.
And if you would like skip that to be like, well, I'm just too busy with work. You'll be too busy with work forever. Work's not going anywhere.
No,
Like,
there's
there's
always
always
something to
going to be.
do.
Yeah. And it reminds me too, we recently had someone say something like, I don't remember the whole beginning of the conversation, but basically like she is so busy, has a lot going on, and wants social media to work, but it's really not. And maybe she'll just hire a VA. And I was like, like, don't do that. Like,
Right.
instead of I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a VA. They can be very helpful. We have one that we love, Chloe, shout out Chloe Imming. She's probably overly booked, so get on her wait list. But my point is, I don't think that's her next best step if social media is the thing she wants to grow her business. She may need
Yeah.
to reassess where she's investing. And instead of investing in the VA, maybe you invest in someone to clean the house or someone to I don't know what else you pay for. Like food, like a meal delivery service or like
Yes.
something else, because if she wants social media to work, she has to be in it. And the more you kind of push it off or like, I'm not going to be part of this,
Right. Outsource.
the less likely it's going to work. So like, it was like this collision of, I want this, but I don't have time, so I'm going to outsource it. But I'm like, wait, can we outsource something else? Like, let's just
Yeah.
talk it through. Let's talk through like where you're investing and what you're investing in. And the two things that I said is I think everyone needs to do this. And we kind of talked about this last week briefly, but a time audit and a money audit. What are you spending your money on and what are you spending your time on? If maybe your systems are a wreck and you're like, I recreate the wheel every time I meet with a buyer, every time I go to a listing appointment, every time I do anything. And that needs to be audited because you don't need to be spending that much time. Like there's so many different things. And until we kind of sit back and think and write down like, wow, that took me way too long. Or I need to designate. I just listened to a really good Every Girl podcast episode about I don't remember the title, but it was like about theming your work days. And she's like, on a Monday, I want like a CEO boss bitch energy for my Monday. Like that day is for me. And I was like, I need to bring that back into my life. And I messaged you and I said, Kayla, we need a designated recording day because I feel like I'm like a squirrel popping
Yeah.
all over the place, like meeting, call. And lately this year with all that we have going on, I have so many calls and meetings, and I'm not a call and meeting person unless I'm talking to Kayla about creative things.
Right.
Then I like my meetings. But it was just like, I need to do something different. And that episode was really fun and gave me a ton of ideas for kind of how to structure things. Cause she was like, I'm always like, recording my solo episode the day before it goes out. I'm like, yep, that's me. Like, I need to get this reined in and like structured better. So a lot of it comes down to like, what is your schedule? The only way to figure that out is to audit, like go through like, what am I doing in a week? Like, what am I doing on, like, am I doing random meetings throughout the whole day? That's like, I never get a gap to just get work done. Or are you not taking a day for yourself that is specifically to get like work stuff done?
Yeah.
I also on Tuesdays, Henry goes to my mother-in-law's and Mark goes to the office. So I started like that's my morning where I take like a half hour and I do a house sweep where I'm like picking things up, like getting the dishwasher loaded. I don't want anything on the counters. I just want like a day, like that's going to be my CEO day because I want that day to be the house is like picked up, no one's here. I feel really productive and this day is whatever I need to get done. So I can get these like deep chunks of time to like write my emails and like do all my creative work that's hard to do when you're like popping in and out of things, right? So it's a time audit. It's like the one of the best things you could do for yourself. Do you ever get to the end of a podcast episode and feel like, ugh, now I have to wait until next Tuesday for more?
Are you asking me or our listeners?
I mean, I was asking our listeners, but now I'm curious. Do you feel that way too?
Honestly, I might. I mean, if it weren't for Modern Agent Social Club, because members get to be in the middle of marketing conversations like this every single day.
That's true. For our members, it's basically Marketing Girl Summer.
Exactly. Like, sun's out, strategy's out.
So if you love the podcast, maybe you've already started trying a few things and you're seeing results, but just imagine how much more momentum you could build inside the club.
Because the podcast is where we talk strategy, but inside Modern Agent Social Club, like, of course, you're going to get great content, as I do say so myself. But more than that, you're going to get a results-driven marketing plan.
Carousels and reel prompts and emails, it's all great. But how do they all work together to make you the real estate go-to girl? That's why we provide you with an entire marketing system so you don't have to figure out how all these pieces connect.
So if you're tired of waiting a whole week between episodes and you're tired of DIYing your real estate marketing, make this your most fun and productive summer yet.
And join us today at modernagentsocialclub.com for your first official Marketing Girl Summer. Now back to the show.
Yeah. Well, and just bouncing right off of that, I mean, you kind of just catapulted us into the next one, but investing in your business. There's lots of different ways to invest in your business. You can invest obviously in your marketing, which we're big fans of, but investing in just like your like overall like brand, all of that, your materials, which you don't need to do that all the time, but give it a refresh once in a while. Your education, obviously, like you've got continuing ed that you have to do, but there could be other opportunities that could get you where you want to go. Even just like, listening to podcasts like this, or if there's other ones that you listen to that really like teach you something or like challenge you as a business owner, that's so good to listen to. I wouldn't listen to all of them all the time and then have your brain overwhelmed with ideas and then you don't have any time to implement. There are literally times when I'm like, I am not opening up my podcast app for like 2 weeks because I need to like implement the things that I've learned. But here's the deal. Like, as a realtorpreneur, as a business owner, you have to invest in your business. Like, just like all the other things that we've said we believe are non-negotiables, this is also a non-negotiable. Money has to flow. And yes, it's not just money, but this one is a little bit more money related. Money has to move in order for it to grow. It's kind of like air, like, right? Like, oh my gosh, Brett and I went to a baseball game. We went to Washington, D.C. to watch the Nationals play. And it was just a hot day. Like, it was like 90 something, 100 something, whatever. And like, we were all really hot, but we were all sitting in the stadium, all had a really good time. And I'm not kidding you. It was like out of nowhere, all of the wind and the breeze just stopped. The air got so stagnant. I literally was like, it is hard to inhale. Like, it was so hard. And the entire stadium just got quiet because it was like, everyone felt it. Everyone was like, it's really hot, And
gosh, that sounds like the start to like an apocalyptic movie.
we literally left not too long after. We watched a few innings, and we're not really baseball fans. We just think it's kind of fun just to go and get a hot dog and a beer or whatever. But like the whole point of it was like, oh my gosh, like when that air quit moving, like everything stopped. Like nothing else could keep going, you know? And so money, it is the same way. Like it has to keep going. You know, I can compare it to like stories in the Bible about like, you know, okay, I gave you these talents. Like, what did you do with them? Did you bury them or did you invest them? And what, like, whatever, like, you have to keep things moving. And I know, I mean, I get it. Like, gosh, I don't talk about it a whole lot because it's just makes my story a little harder to follow. But I did hair all the time. And then I also, toward the end of that, started like a t-shirt business for coaches' wives and like football wives that I continued to do up until even just like maybe 2 years ago. But gosh, through there were times when it was like, okay, like I know I'm supposed to like reinvest this money, but also like we had this bill pop up, or like we just had a baby, like, or I need to whatever. Like there's always something that I could have put that money toward. And there were times I did the right thing and there were times I did the wrong thing. Like there were times that it was like, woo, now when tax season is here, like I don't have the money for that. And in fact, there was one time where I think we found out we owed like, I think it was like $6,000 in taxes. And I was like, and I felt like all my fault. I did this wrong, but like we were paying our bills, you know, as time goes on, but I wasn't investing my money properly. And but I told my husband, I was like, I will fix it. And I went to my computer and I designed a whole new collection. And that weekend I literally had a $10,000 launch. And I'm like, isn't it funny how like when you actually need the money, when it's like balls to the wall, you figure it out, right?
You figure it out. It's so wild actually how that happens, but also thinking about how, because we built these businesses, we have the opportunity to go and do that. Like
Yes.
that's why I got into real estate. I didn't want a cap. I wanted, well, that's not going to be enough. And you know, I didn't come from money or anything. So like I had this like massive drive to like I want to build something that probably would seem unexpected or whatever. And I feel like I used to sometimes feel not guilty, but like I shouldn't talk about that. Like maybe that's not something I should talk about because it's almost seems like greedy to be like, oh, I want more money or I want to make more money. But then I was listening to this Emily Judice, I think is how you pronounce her name. She has a really good book called The Weekenders Club. I won't get into it right now, but it's really good if you need like a kick to just get things in the right direction. She did a health and wealth challenge that I had attended, and in the challenge, she talked about how I'm not going to be able to say this the correct way, but she related it to the Bible and how God wants us to use our strengths and our skills that he gave us to go before others so that other people can get further ahead. And that made me feel like it's not like she like basically said like it's not greedy to want to build a bigger business, and it's for the legacy of your family. It's for your kids and your grandkids and their kids, and it keeps going. Like that's what I wanted. Like again, my family didn't have a bunch of money. Like I wasn't coming like, but I want to build that for my kids' future and for like the next. I don't want them to struggle through college or take out all the loans that bury them like I was. Like, and I love my parents, but I was in a really scary situation with money for a while, and it just fires me up even more. So I don't know where I'm going with all of this, but I love entrepreneurship for the fact that you can do whatever you want. There are no rules, but it requires you have to invest in yourself. Like especially when you're expecting someone else to invest in you, but you don't even invest something in yourself. And I wrote the quote down, like you're not spending money, you're building momentum. Like we have to look at it as less of like a that's going to be gone from my bank account and more about like, but what is that going to get me and how is that going to get it to me faster and smarter and taking away the like me piecing it together parts. Like we have to think differently about money as business owners. Like I just invested in a pretty significantly priced product that I've been looking at for 4 years. And I wanted to do it. And I kept saying, like, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time. I mean, the last time I was on the fence, I was pregnant and Henry's going to be 3 in October.
Yeah.
So that's to just put that in perspective. Well, finally, Mark's like, just do it. He's like, you've been talking about this for years. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, and I'm going to make sure that this transforms me. I mean, I still want to transform more than what, like, I've come a long ways, but as someone in this industry, as an entrepreneur, like, there is no finish line. I'm never going to be like, yep, this is it. I'm good. Like, I love this. I'm passionate about this through what I just invested in. I hope it helps our members. I
Yeah.
hope it helps my team. I hope it helps everyone. And like, that's what happens. It trickles down. You get better at talking to people. You get more confident. You maybe have better structure and things in your life that may, like, most people are looking at like, okay, what features does this offer me? What CRM should I get? How many templates do you have? And no one's asking, I shouldn't say no one, I'm just generalizing. You guys are all amazing and smart, but like, no one's asking, like, I wonder how much faster I could double my business if I use this correctly. Cause that's how my investment that I just made, I will more than 10x. I know that because I know how I'm going to implement it. And that's how we have to look at the things we're investing in, not as like money out, as momentum in.
Yes. And when you look at money less like this like personal thing and more like a tool, it makes it a lot easier to like put it where it needs to go to grow, you know? I love the quote, like, you can't expect a 6-figure or a 7-figure business with $0 decisions. Like, it pays to play. And at some point you need to invest in things. And we'll talk a little bit more about like what that actually means for you. But like, I just think it's important that we get it in our heads that, like, first of all, like, look at like Dave Ramsey. Okay. I've never followed him like super closely, but I know people who are like, oh my gosh, he totally changed my life. And other people that, can't stand him, whatever. I remember hearing one time, like, someone said, like, you have to remember the whole thing with Dave Ramsey, where he's like, don't take out a loan and like pay for everything in cash. He is talking to people who have fixed incomes, who get the same paycheck every 2 weeks. That is not anyone listening to this podcast right now. Like, as real estate agents, we have the ability to make our own money. And listen, I know that it doesn't mean that we sell 10 houses every month like we want, right? That doesn't mean that we're always having business. It doesn't mean that transactions don't fall through. But the bottom line is this: every day in your community, within an hour radius of where you live, where you serve, someone's listing their house. Okay. Now there's probably lots of agents to choose from, but why not you? Why didn't they choose you? Now, yes, some people are like, well, that my mom's the agent or my husband or what. Like, that's great. But like, there's enough people that probably have come across you or that should have come across you at some point when they're scrolling late night.
Could have come across you.
Why aren't they seeing you? Why aren't they connecting with you? And why aren't they thinking of you when they need an agent? You're not going to win them all. Like, I'm not saying that. It's completely unrealistic. But like, there's really like no reason why they can't at least consider you before they actually make the decision. That's what we want you to do. And that's what powerful marketing does for you. Powerful marketing makes your name a household name where they can't help but think of you, consider you. If they don't choose you, they have to at least choose not to work with you instead of just like not remember that you're an agent, right? Like, make them think of you, live rent free in their brain. And you do that with powerful marketing. You're not a full-time marketer. You're a real estate agent. You've got, houses to sell. You've got things to learn. You've got places to go, all of those things. Like, that's why Chelsea and I love doing the heavy lifting for you. We love being like, we'll study all of this and we'll hand everything to you that you need on a silver platter. All you have to do is insert yourself in it and post it. Like, literally, it is actually just that easy.
I love one time Chelsea Harold, who was on our podcast, said something like, I don't have time to figure all this stuff out. I'm just doing whatever you tell me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's kind of the idea. And yes, you will learn through that, but the idea is you're not starting from zero. You are getting, if you combine what our experience and all of the things, 25 years ahead, technically, if you compound all of that. And that's, again, it's investing to build the momentum. It's investing to get you closer to your future self. It's acting like the future self you want to be, not waiting till you are there or you never will get there. I'm not saying that if you ever don't join Modern Agent. But if you don't invest in your business in some way, and there's, again, we said this at the beginning, you go on Instagram, there's something to invest in every other post that you scroll by. How do you know what is the right thing for you? How do you know what to decide what is the best investment for you?
Yeah.
Do you have any advice on that?
I mean, yeah, you have to have, like we talked about, trust-free sessions, right? And you have to trust the person. I think that there are probably, and I know I'm coming up with it on the fly, but there are probably like key questions you can ask yourself, like to whether or not something's going to be like promising. And I mean, I do the same thing. Like, gosh, I bought this like it's like a face light, but like massager thing with like all these different lights that are supposed to be like so good for your skin. Okay. And they show you all the before and after pictures. Now I'm very skeptical, probably like most people, where I'm thinking like, okay, how much of this was like photoshopped, how much was whatever. But then you see all these influencers talking about it, and then of course ads pop up everywhere. Finally, I just bought the dang thing. It was like $40. I am convinced it actually does nothing at all. It hasn't improved my skin. It does feel good. I still use it because I think it feels good. I don't think it actually does anything. But I thought, you know what? It's so funny. Like, how many little like gimmicky things have I purchased like that? Or even like skincare products forever, where probably if I would just go and get like monthly facials, I'd probably actually get better results. I would spend less time and money overall, and I'd be happier with what I have. I wouldn't constantly feel this like, well, what do I need? What do I need? And you know, like there's other people that I follow, a lot of like other like marketers or whatever that share information that I think like, well, I wonder what they say about this. Cause like, do I not understand this? But then I download their thing and I'm like, no, that's exactly what we say. Or like we say it differently, but this is why. And like, I don't know, there's not very many times, and unless, hear me out, like the thing that you're talking about, where like learning, like putting more money towards something to learn like a higher level of skills, that's where I'm like, oh, I never thought of it that way. But guess what? There's no $47 product that's ever taught me those things. Ever.
No. I laugh when you said that about the facial tool, because I'm like, we will not be getting a brand partnership with that company.
No. They're probably from China. Like, it's probably not. Yeah, I couldn't even tell you what it was. But yeah, it is. It's so funny. I don't know. Like, I feel like there's just so many times we look at that. Even clothes, right? Like, I love like a certain style of outfits. And so when I start seeing those, then I think like, well, if I just had those pants, or if I just had that shirt or that necklace or whatever, then I'll be able to do these things. But a lot of times, like, they arrive and I'm like, oh, it's not quite what I thought. Okay, so this is like just looking at it this way, right? It's a different like metaphor. But like thinking about how like money has to circulate, just like air has to circulate in order for you to be able to like breathe and whatnot. Money has to circulate too. So you have to be investing. You have to, like think about like when you get a commission check, right? You set aside some for your broker, or your broker just takes it. You set aside some for like taxes. You set aside some for hopefully like your business, your marketing, all of those things. And then you can take some for yourself and like kind of cut yourself a paycheck from that, right? Like that is how we have to look at everything that we're investing in. So if we look at how things have to flow, things have to move, think about like a pool, right? My parents have a pool. The very first time they open it for the summer, it was pretty gross. Okay. Like, they have like a saltwater pool. So for the most part, it stays clean, but there's always like a cloudy film at the very top. We usually find a couple dead frogs, but the water hasn't moved. Like, no one's been in it. No one's done whatever. One of their favorite things to do is to like open the pool for the summer. And then they invite all the grandkids and say like, jump in, like get it moving, get it going. And once the water starts flowing and then they got the pump back on and all of those things, the water actually stays crystal clear and it's like desirable to jump in, right? So it's kind of the same thing with our money, like how we're spending our money and our time and all of those things. Like if we keep those things moving and we keep pouring back into ourselves and into our businesses, we're going to suddenly look a lot less murky and a lot more desirable. And I'm sorry, but like, I can tell the difference in leaders or like thought leaders in different spaces or in different like influencers. I can tell who's just there to make a paycheck or who's there because they need to make a sale. And the difference between them compared to the people who are like, listen, like my life has changed and I want you to come with me. Like, I want to show you what this can be like for you. I want to paint the picture for you and I'm going to walk you through this. Like, come along. Like, that's who I want to follow.
That's so good. And ultimately, I think you follow and invest where it aligns. Like, I feel like you can immediately feel if there is like this massive disconnect. And I'll even notice it sometimes based on like the questions people ask when they come into our world. And it will kind of be there's a radar, like an alert system where I'm like not going to work, not that it's not going to work, but that their brain is in just a totally different space that I don't think if they entered the world of modern agent it would work because they're not ready to do anything. They're not ready to do the work. So before you do invest in something, you need to figure out, does this align with the person I want to become? If you painted that picture of your dream future self, and lately I've been wanting to uh, start journaling because I feel like we have so much in our brains that I want to journal. What is, like, even from whether it's a health perspective, a workout perspective, an investing in your business perspective, the way you operate, the way you are as a wife or a mom, or uh your spiritual life, whatever. What do you want it to be? And if I could like journal it out, I think it would help me make better decisions in how I spend my time. And maybe I trade Love Island for listening to one of a podcast from church that week. I listened to one in the car yesterday and I was like, I need to do this every week. But it's just like filling your brain and your body and your life and your surroundings with things that only elevate you, that don't push you back, that don't, and it's fine to watch Love Island while you do tedious computer work, but I'm just saying, like, how can we journal out, where do we want to be in 5 years, 10 years? What kind of mom do we want to be? What kind of business owner do we want to be? Friend, like write it down and then find something that aligns with that. Because, for example, I got into the real estate industry and like without writing anything down, I knew I would not be door knocking. I almost committed to doing it once. Then I was like, no, like absolutely not doing that. And not because I don't want to be successful, but because I don't want to be that type of person. So that's how you have to think. And if you want, like, if the type of person you want to be and the product, the coaching, the service, the membership aligns with that, it's probably a good sign that it could be a good fit. But if you are trying to raise every red flag to basically convince yourself why it's not a good fit, yeah, probably not going to be a good fit. It ultimately, with anything you're investing in, if you're not willing to do the work, nothing's going to happen. Even from the point of like, I want to feed healthy meals to my family. If you're not willing to get food and cook, buy or get it delivered, you're not going to feed healthy meals to your family. It doesn't matter what it is. So what are you investing in? What are you willing to trade money for to gain time, to gain perspective, to gain clarity, to gain back whatever the thing that you think you need is the most? That's the thing that you should invest in. That's the thing that should not feel like a payment. It should feel like an addition to your life, an
Right.
elevation of your life.
Yeah. You're saying all of that. I remember we had this is a good chat GPT prompt. Put it in chat GPT to say like, okay, this is where I want to be in 5 years. This is how I want to spend my time. This is how much money I want to be making. This is how many houses I want to be selling, all of those things. And then you can say like, what do I need to do now and every year going forward to get there? We had a member do this. Do you remember, was it Alex? Alex said that she put it in chat GPT and said, this is where I want to go. Will Modern Agent Social Club help me get there? Right. And then it came back with this whole thing saying, like, here's all the ways that they can help you. This is how you, like, the resources that they have. It was actually like, man, we should use that in our marketing. Like, it was like a really, really good response. So maybe do that too. Like, ask yourself, like, write these things down and then put it all in chat GPT and say, okay, like, if this is where I want to be in the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, like, what do I need to start doing today to get a little closer to that? What areas am I not seeing? What parts do I need to consider? And then if, let's just say you're on the fence like Alex was about joining Modern Agent, put it in there and say, will Modern Agent Social Club help me compress time and get there faster? And I mean, I don't know. I do feel like ChatGPT is really quick to agree with you. Like, oh yeah, that's a genius idea. So ask it in whatever way you want to get like a good response, like depending on how well ChatGPT actually knows you. But I do think that's really like something to consider. And like the truth is, like, no one gets where they want to go overnight, right? Like it always is like one step at a time, one day at a time. There's always a few steps back once in a while. Like that's just going to be part of the journey to me, how it happens. But if you step into, like, if you put the line in the sand today and say, like, from here on out, I'm going to take investing in myself seriously and I'm going to think more like a realtorpreneur and not just another agent, I think you're going to get different results just in that mindset alone. Don't try to do everything at once, but like think about your health, think about your relationships, think about the way that you like feed your soul, right? Feed your well-being, like do things for fun. Like, are you prioritizing that? And are you taking the time to invest in your business? Like, if you are actually doing those things and just kind of just pour a little bit of water on each of those things every day, you are going to see like crazy compounded results that are going to actually like get you where you want to go. Because the truth is, none of this is about your social media, right? Like, even though that's what we help people do, like ultimately that's just the cherry on top, right?
It's like the vehicle. It's the vehicle that gets you there, but it's really not what it's about.
Yes, it's all about your lifestyle. And like, we want you to be able to like sit on your porch someday and like tell your kids, like, well, I remember when I was your age, and like talk about the things that you did and have your kids look around and be like, look what you built, look what you did. And you're going to pass this on to me. Like, how amazing. Like, what do I need to learn from you? Because, you know, all of our kids are always looking to learn from their parents. If there's one thing I know about having a teenager, it is that right there.
Actually, though, as you say that, think about this. If your son or daughter came to you and said, like, Mom, I'm thinking of doing this, but, and they list all these excuses, I'm not going to do it until this. And you know what they should do. You know what the better move is. Like, what would you tell your kid? What would you tell your child? You would tell them probably to do it, to take the next step. Don't wait. Like, invest in yourself. Yeah, do the hard thing. And like, that is such a good way to think about your own business. Would I tell or hope that my child did this or operated this way or built this thing? Like, you want them to be successful probably more than you want yourself to be successful.
Right.
Their success is going to be a reflection of your success. So you're not just doing it for you. You're doing it for your kids. You're doing it for the future. You're doing it for what they're going to learn and see through you.
Absolutely.
And that is like one of the most powerful things you could possibly think about. And that is something I'm like, again, when I invested in this thing that was like a high ticket thing, I was like, what could I even gain from this that would help Henry when he's going to school? I mean, like, there's so much that can come through when you step into these, not just a membership or a shiny template or a silly fluffy thing, but when you step into it as an identity, like, that's what we want when you join Modern Agent. And I'm going to read this. I found Alex's message. This is what ChatGPT told her, but I didn't ask ChatGPT this. She did. So she's probably in a skeptic, you know, like, is this going to work or not? It says, best for realtors who want to elevate their brand and build long-term recognition and trust, especially those who love storytelling, community, and thoughtful social media marketing. Based on your needs, here's my recommendation. Join Modern Agent Social Club. Here's why. You have a strong sense of who you are and how you want to show up. Modern Agent will help you amplify that. You don't need more content. You need clarity, strategy, and confidence to use social media to actually get leads and clients. Their content feels much more aligned with your energy. And then it listed off things that she had said that she's about. And then it said elevated, feminine, relatable, and not cookie cutter. And bonus, their tone and visual vibe fit your personal brand way better than other memberships.
I love it so much.
So that's a good filter to run through if you have ever debated joining and you're like, well, is it the right fit? Because again, we don't want people who are coming in with red flag radar, our alarms going off, like, the
red flag energy. Yeah.
Yeah, bad energy. We don't want that. We want you to step into this as part of your new identity and operate differently as an agent, a mom, a friend, a wife, everything, a marketer.
Yeah. You step into it eager to do the work and expect it to get the results, because you will get the results. If you put in the work, we give you literally everything you need to succeed.
And kind of like back to the beginning with Kayla's glasses, she bought the more expensive glasses that she felt good in, that she actually wants to wear. Her vision's not going to get better if she doesn't ever wear the glasses. So when you invest in something that you're excited to use, you want to be part of it, you want to step into that identity, you're going to then use it. And the results they're not an option. They're not, there's no way not to get a result if you're walking in with that mindset.
And it's like, I put my money where my mouth is too. So like, if I'm going to buy the more expensive pair, then I'm going to wear them. Like, I'm going to take it seriously. If I had just like a $30 pair of glasses, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'll use them sometime. Like, I wouldn't see the value in it as much, and I wouldn't hold myself to the standard of like investing and then using them daily. And like, it's gonna hopefully protect my eyes for longer periods of time over the years. So great analogy. I love this discussion. This was so good. This was like, I was a little nervous to do this episode because I never, like, money can always feel like, you know, like an iffy, touchy subject for people. But It's less about the money and it's more about the mindset, right? Like it's all about like, how are you going to, are you going to take yourself seriously as an agent? And whatever your answer is, that's how other people are going to see you too.
And
So,
honestly, it's the question is, are you trying to have a hobby or are you trying to run a successful business? And that's going to make a difference in the choices you make. And if you want to run a successful business, money is it's inevitable to think about, talk about, and invest with. So it's just taking yourself more seriously. And maybe some people listening are like brand new into real estate. They're like, holy cow, this is like, I'm not ready for this. Or maybe it just lit a fire under you and you're going to be so much further along faster than most people ever could be because you are excited to think and operate this way.
yeah, I love it so much. Guys,
Yeah,
thank you
this was
so much.
fun.
This is another great discussion, and I love podcasting with you. This is so great.
It was so fun. Thanks, Kayla.
Yep.
Bye, everyone. Oh, wait. See you next Tuesday.
I was like, are we done?
Yeah, we're not done until I say that. We will see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye. I'm so glad we got to hang out today. If you're as sad as I am that our time is up, I've got good news. There are a couple of different ways we can keep the conversation going.
First, follow us on Instagram at Modern Agent Marketing Girls and introduce yourself in the DMs. Also, we always have a free Modern Agent resource available, so check out today's show notes for the goods.
And finally, hang out with other go-to real estate girls like you and finally create a marketing plan that works when you join Modern Agent Social Club. All the details are in today's notes.
XOXO, the Marketing Girls.